Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Joe, and we're going to make a video right now about what is better, battle of the kettlebell versus the dumbbell. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about weight is weight, but this is a little bit different than that. 50 pounds, we'll use 50 pounds as the comparison here. So a 50-pound dumbbell and a roughly 50-pound kettlebell. Okay, the weight is going to be nearly the same. All right, but now the biggest thing is shape. Okay, so with a dumbbell, that weight is displaced. It's right next to the side of your fist. Okay, your hand is holding on to the handle. The weight is lateral. Okay, so now with the kettlebell, it changes. Okay, in the dumbbell, the weight is always going to be in the same spot in your hand as long as you're gripping it. Now, with a kettlebell, if you are doing a deadlift or a swing, the handle is in your hand. The weight is away from your wrist. So now that changes when we go into a clean. The weight, we're going to insert your hand in the clean. The kettlebell is going to be sitting back here. All right, so in this rack position. So in a dumbbell rack, the weight is still going to be right there around the fist. Okay, so basically think about that, around the fist. With a kettlebell, it's going to change. So there's a lot of stuff where that comes into play. Is where is the weight load going to be for what exercise you're going to be doing? The biggest thing is there is a learning curve. When you're doing kettlebells, there is much more to learn than a dumbbell. So let's say if you do a swing or a press with a dumbbell, a clean, all those things, the dumbbell is going to be right there, right where your fist is, okay? That's why the dumbbells are great for beginners. Kettlebells take much more time and effort to learn, okay? So with the learning curve, dumbbells are much easier. So let's go for a plus. Let's go for a win, a point on the dumbbells versus kettlebell there, for beginners especially. Now, for speed, movement and speed, certain exercises, kettlebells are generally thought of as ballistic or things like that. So think about kettlebell swings. Yes, you swing them, you're not going to be able to move the dumbbell any faster than the kettlebell. But since the kettlebell is it can rotate with the wrist, right? So with a dumbbell, it's right in your hand, and you can move that as fast as you can move your hand, as fast as you can move your fist. You don't have to wait for the kettlebell. You don't have to wait for the clean to come down and get back to that away from your wrist. So the dumbbell is going to be faster on certain things, on how many repetitions you can do. Think about a snatch. Bring it up, bring it back down. Bring it up, bring it back down. Now with the kettlebell, you have to bring it back up. It rotates around or over your wrist. So once again, for certain exercises, speed, dumbbell's going to win. If you're trying to do reps, and that's why it's done in CrossFit competitions, you're going to get a lot more repetitions, and they're going to be almost easily counted, easier to be countable with dumbbells because there's less change of form with people. So dumbbells, they can win on that speed. Kettlebells are great for more endurance. That's what they're meant for. But let's go back to this one. Fat bells are kind of like a cross, kind of hybrid. It's basically a dumbbell that's 360 degree around the wrist. It's kind of like a kettlebell with the handle pushed down into the center of it. So that could be I think fat bells are wonderful. But let's go to here. Let's go to availability. Dumbbells are everywhere, okay? They're everywhere. They've been everywhere. Kettlebells are newer. People have racks set up for dumbbells. Kettlebells are usually just people just flopping them on the floor or using them as door stops or stuff like that. Or they have a couple different ones. Their dumbbells are usually in every 5-pound increments. Kettlebell, it's every 4-kilogram increments, or 5 pounds if you're getting more of the US non-kilogram based one. So availability, dumbbell, there are dumbbells everywhere. Dumbbells win, okay? Availability for kettlebells, they're definitely getting more popular, so there are going to be a lot more places. But we're going to get to another thing. Do people really know what to do with them? That's the thing. People are following kettlebell stuff and they're seeing all these things in popular magazines, and they're just not made by professionals. They are made by people that have large reach. They're made by people that can write for certainly these magazines and stuff like that, and they're not professionals at kettlebell training or use with kettlebells. So there's that something you can think of. Goals and physiques. Physique goals. I mean, bodybuilding, dumbbells, they're going to be a thing. Most people don't write programs for using kettlebells. I've done it. I've done both. I can build a lot of muscle using kettlebells, but it's not the exercises that most people are thinking. If you're just doing swings, things like that, you're not going to build the density or the size that you would with like more of that heavier and slower tempo, things like that. The kettlebell will be more ballistic. So at the top of a swing, you're resting, basically. Your body is not under much tension as it is in a deadlift. Okay, so athleticism, focus, more conditioning and flexibility, definitely kettlebell. Kettlebell is going to get a point for here. If you're doing jiu-jitsu or anything like that, any type of combat sports, please, kettlebells. They have to be in your program. If they're not number one, they should definitely be in there. Let's go to fun. So I'm going to go for athleticism, kettlebells, point. Let's go for fun. If you spent your whole training life with dumbbells and barbells, and maybe you're tired, maybe you want something new, kettlebells can increase that fun. You can't really juggle. If that's something you want to do, and for meditation or conditioning or just fun, kettlebells, point. I don't see many people juggle in dumbbells. Barbells, they're very limited in what you can do. Kettlebell, there are so many more variations of the exercises. Even the handle is in a place that you can change so many things up and get different connection, different thought processes, different stimulation from the same weight. Kettlebells, point. As far as fun, in my opinion. Price, now. Dumbbells, they're everywhere. People give them away. They're at different secondhand sports stores. Usually how this happens with dumbbells is people just don't use them anymore. Now with kettlebells, they get too much weight and they possibly can't use them. They haven't been taught. They get injured, something like that. They're going to sell them, possibly. So usually kettlebells are more expensive than dumbbells, even at same price per pound, okay? Now let's go to a body limitation. So let's say price. Dumbbells, point. Body limitations. All comes down to what you're doing. If you're really tall, if you're really short, all these have different things to do, like with dumbbells. As they get larger, they're going to take up so much space. Kettlebells, like I said, the weight is away. So you can do deadlifts and stuff like that, and they might not get in the way. Yet if you're doing deadlifts with dumbbells, two 100-pound dumbbells, deadlifts with two 100-pound kettlebells are much easier for most bodies to do. So that could be something. Presses, okay, now think about this. It is so much easier to take two 100-pound dumbbells and sit back into a bench by yourself and press it. Good luck doing with kettlebells. And I'm a person that loves it, but it's almost impossible for heavier weights to do it by yourself with kettlebells. So it just depends. Body limitation. Some people are going to be great with kettlebells. The range of motion is going to be increased with kettlebells. Some people are going to be better fit for dumbbells. Let's go to this one. So I'm going to go neither on that one. 0 points given for the limitations. Actually, I think kettlebells can be used for more people. It's just when you get to certain levels, dumbbells might be better as far as where to go with a certain weight. Now, let's go here. Culture. In the U.S., kettlebells is relatively new still. People associate, Pavel, hardstyle, whatever, some of the earlier RKCs that brought kettlebells over here, 15 to 20 years ago or so. Dumbbells have been dumbbell and barbell have been, and machines have been the U.S. culture. Every gym. So kettlebells are relatively new. So let's give a point to, let's go neither there. It's just different. Kettlebells were more popular over, in Europe, Russia area. That's, where they're from. Now, we got to think about ego here. a lot of people that have lifted before with dumbbells and barbells have a hard time using. Kettlebells are hard to use. If you take, like I said, 100-pound dumbbell versus 100-pound kettlebell. With kettlebells, you have to get them to a position. You can't start on a rack. You're not going to start with squat. So if you're going to squat 2 106-pound kettlebells, you have to clean them and get them off the floor first. So that's a big thing. A 212-pound barbell squat is much easier. Now think if you had to clean it and get it up over your back, it's a big difference. So there's something you got to think about. Ego. So a lot of people don't like dropping down in weight, or using less weight than they're used to. But then again, if you're using kettlebells, you could really, if you get good at kettlebells, you can usually be pretty proficient at barbells and dumbbells, okay? Let's go back here. Media assumptions. You're going to think about dumbbells and barbells. It's either CrossFit or bodybuilding. So people assume like steroids, you see a bunch of growth, a bunch of muscle mass. People have, been into bodybuilding and stuff. That's all based on diet. Everyone trains hard no matter what realm you're in. It's just in bodybuilding, your goal is to show the muscle. Doesn't matter anything else. We all have muscle. You can always get big muscle from anything, but bodybuilding is showing it off and comparing. It's just leanness. Okay, that doesn't happen in the training. That happens from your nutrition and your dieting and all that stuff. But also, with kettlebells, the media assumption is this skinny endurance person. I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff. You see my channel, I came from a bodybuilding background. You can see all of that stuff. But people still think of kettlebells as endurance athlete training tools, which the least amount of people I see are runners, like high-level endurance. They would benefit so much from kettlebell training, but you just don't see it that much. You just see it in magazines or Kettlebell Sport or channel here. But anyway, so that's my thoughts on what's better. It all comes down to what you're going to use the most consistently in longevity for your life. Will you use dumbbells for more often? Will you get burned out? What tool do you gravitate towards the most that you can use consistently? That is the winner. We're all different. It's what you will do the most and consistently, which is the best for you.